Now, this year's Vanguard Award, which I'm particularly excited about, because it gives me the opportunity to introduce someone who has more passion for their work than anyone I've ever had the privilege to work with. And that's something, because as we all know, therapists tend to be a very passionate bunch. Just look around. But just because you're passionate about something doesn't mean you'll succeed at it. Nor does it mean that anyone will acknowledge the worthiness of whatever it is you happen to be passionate about. And that's where tenacity and courage come in. Two qualities this year's honoree also has in spades. Despite having faced addiction and depression and profound loss in his life, he's had the tenacity and courage, the audacity even, to fight to legitimize a therapeutic approach that actually worked for him. Just a few years ago, when the clinical establishment was recognizing the value of art therapy and poetry therapy and dance therapy, the term hip-hop therapy was virtually non-existent. A recording studio full of mixing boards and microphones wasn't seen as a place of deep therapeutic healing. Quite the opposite. Outside of a few lone figures shaping hip-hop therapy in academia, no one was really paying attention. And if they were, they likely saw hip-hop as part of the problem, not a solution. But this year's honoree is changing that. As an artist and a clinician, he's reaching a population our field has too often neglected. With all of his passion and tenacity and courage, he's providing vulnerable kids a chance to voice their experiences through creativity, to process their many personal and cultural traumas in a way that's meaningful to them, and to celebrate the wisdom they inherently hold within themselves. And more, I'm thrilled to say his efforts are getting noticed. His work was elegantly captured in the award-winning documentary Mott Haven. He was invited to talk at the Grammy Museum with actor and artist Nick Cannon about hip-hop and mental health. And recently, Good Morning America sent a camera crew to profile him at the Second Chance South Bronx High School, where he's made his mark as a social worker. He also happens to be a recipient of the Jefferson Award for Outstanding Public Service, joining the likes of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, okay, Oprah, and Bryan Stevenson. When I complimented him recently on the Good Morning America piece, his immediate response was, "I wish they would have shown the kids more." Despite the fact his star is undeniably on the rise, in his mind, the work isn't about him. It's about the kids. And that's what makes him such a powerful and inspiring force for change. So please join me in honoring the master of the clinical remix, an amazing artist in his own right, and now, the recipient of the 2024 Psychotherapy Networker Vanguard Award, J.C. Hall.
Thank you so much. Oh, wow. Oh, man, this is surreal. Oh, this is surreal. Oh, thank you all so much.
Liv, I know I got the flu and I said I wouldn't hug you, but I had to hug the shit out of you. Thank you. Man, I'm so grateful to be here. I feel so honored yet so unworthy at the same time. And I told myself I wouldn't stand up here and talk about how unworthy I feel to get this award. My need to learn how to accept praise with grace aside, doing that, it would be disrespectful to those whose shoulders I stand upon to be here today. Those who have made this even possible, namely my late friend and mentor, Dr. Edgar Tyson, the originator of hip-hop therapy, the only reason I'm standing here today. So many people to thank, man. Another thing I said I wouldn't do is rap, and that's not happening. I got some bars for you. Oh, this is surreal. Bear with me with my voice. I didn't want to rap because I thought I could find the words to give you a taste of the work. But if I could say things in prose the way I could, I wouldn't need to write poetry. If I could say it. So instead of babbling on, I'll just kind of give you a verse. At the end of every year, we have an annual showcase for the kids. A theme arises throughout the year in the studio of the work that they put together. Last year, the theme was healing. That was a recurrent motif throughout their music. And at the way end of the showcase, we have a cipher. Everyone gets together. We kind of fan out and create a semicircle, and then you guys, the crowd, creates the other half of that semicircle. And so if I can't bring you all to Mott Haven, I just kind of want to bring a little bit of Mott Haven to you, and I'll give you the verse that I did for that. So yeah, this verse brought to you by Robitussin and acetaminophen. Here we go, let's see. I told the homie to heal, man, it's mandatory. He said all he been through, they better hand it to me. Free therapy to start, and your saddest story, I hope it gets you all the fame, money, and the glory. Milk the system for everything it ain't worth, for all the glitches that somehow you made work. When the addiction kicked in, you found pain's perks and got it out the mud in blood-stained shirts. Traumatized, I promise you not the only one. And that's why you gotta open up to overcome. That's coming from someone known to run who couldn't recover without letting others hold them up. My homie told me to heal, said it's imperative. Got everything I could want and no one to share it with. Across America, they got me into Sheridan to speak to all these people, lonelier than I ever been. The more I love you, more I push you away. It just feels less real when it's put on display. Growing up was all smiles when we weren't okay. Why we lying to each other? This is supposed to be our home base. But hey, they say fake it till you make it, man. I can pretend all I want, it ain't gonna change a thing. All them assurances, but it stay the same. Your mouth moving, more concerned with what your face is saying. Pulling out the paper mate, trying to pave a way when the weight of its placement is make or break. While them gun bars have come to be a great escape, them young boys still drumming to the 808. Want you to vent, but I'm anxious as hell. This kid charged off his art, ain't a game, it's for real. They using bars to entrap. This ain't just a drill, locked up off a rap, now he awaiting a pill. Don't get it wrong, dog, I'm all for the protest. Only time they told me to heal was to tell me go fetch. Why would I get better to do what they all said? I learned the method just to flip it on its own head. Since then, I've been mapping out the movement, the blueprint, proving rapping's therapeutic. When institutions view you as a nuisance, truth is, healing's an act of revolution. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. Came a long way from the top floor to psych ward, y'all.